The Ink Artist's Handbook. Introduction. Ink, a humble yet powerful medium, has captivated artists for centuries. Its versatility allows for delicate washes, bold strokes, intricate details, and a wide range of textures. This handbook is designed to be your comprehensive guide to unlocking the artistic potential of ink, covering a variety of techniques, necessary materials, and best practices for creating captivating ink artwork. Understanding ink. Before diving into techniques, understanding the properties of ink is crucial. Types of ink. India ink. A carbon-based pigment ink, extremely permanent, archival quality, and dries to a matte or slightly glossy finish. Excellent for line work and washes. Can be difficult to lift once dry. Acrylic ink. Made with acrylic polymers, offering vibrant colors, water resistance when dry, though some washes are still possible, and good light fastness. Dries to a glossy finish. Good for mixed media. Calligraphy ink. Designed specifically for calligraphy pens and brushes. Can be iron gall ink. Traditional, acidic, can corrode nibs. Or modern pigmented inks. Pigmented inks are light fast and archival. Alcohol ink. Transparent, vibrant inks that blend and spread rapidly on non-porous surfaces like Yupo paper or synthetic paper. Not light fast. Drawing ink. A general term for ink suitable for drawing, often water-based, and available in a range of colors. Archival quality varies. Ink properties. Viscosity refers to the thickness of the ink. Thicker inks are better for detailed line work, while thinner inks are ideal for washes. Opacity. How much light passes through the ink. Opaque inks block the surface they cover, while transparent inks allow the surface to show through. Light fastness. The ink's resistance to fading when exposed to light. Essential for artwork intended to last. Look for inks labeled as archival or with high light fastness ratings. Water resistance. How well the ink resists dissolving in water after it dries. Permanent inks are water resistant, while non-permanent inks can be re-wet and manipulated. Tool. Essential materials and resources. Inks. India ink. Windsor, Newton, Speedball, Dr. Ph. Martin's acrylic inks. Golden, Liquitex, De La Rowney. Drawing inks. Rohrer, Klingner, Diamine. Alcohol inks. Ranger Timholtz, Pinata alcohol inks. Paper, surfaces. Hot press watercolor paper. Smooth surface, ideal for fine line work and detailed washes. Arches. Fabriano Artistico, cold press watercolor paper. Textured surface, good for looser washes and creating interesting effects. Arches. Fabriano Artistico. Bristol board. Smooth, sturdy surface, perfect for precise line work and detailed drawings. Strathmore, 300 and 400 series. Sketchbook paper. Use heavy weight for minimal bleed through if you plan to experiment with wet techniques. Yupo paper, synthetic paper, ideal for alcohol inks. Drawing tools. Dip pens. Offer a wide range of nibs for various line widths and effects. Hunt 101, Gillette 303. Technical pens. Consistent line width, great for precise line work and cross-hatching. Micron, Staedtler pigment liner. Fountain pens. Can be filled with ink, providing a smooth and consistent line. Lamy Safari, Pilot Metropolitan. Brushes. Round brushes. Versatile, for both line work and washes. Sizes vary. Flat brushes. Good for broad washes and creating textures. Filbert brushes. Offer a balance between round and flat, useful for blending and shaping. Chinese calligraphy brushes. Excellent for expressive lines and varying stroke widths. Bamboo pen. Creates unique, calligraphic lines. Other supplies. Water container. For diluting ink and cleaning brushes. Palette. Mixing tray. For mixing inks and creating washes. White ceramic palettes work well. Paper towels. Rags. For blotting excess ink and cleaning. Masking fluid. To protect areas of the paper from ink. Windsor, Newton masking fluid. Ruler, straight edge. for creating straight lines. Pencil, for sketching guidelines. Eraser, for removing pencil lines. Spray fixative, to protect the finished artwork, especially if using non-permanent inks. 3. Core ink techniques. Here's a breakdown of popular and effective ink techniques. 1. Line work. Hatching, cross-hatching, contour lines. Description. Building up tone and form using lines. Materials, dip pens, technical pens, fine-tipped brushes. Technique. Hatching. Parallel lines to create value. Closer lines create darker values. Cross-hatching. Overlapping sets of hatching lines at different angles to intensify the value. Contour lines. Lines that follow the edges and internal forms of a subject to define its shape. Best practices. Vary line weight to create depth and visual interest. Consider the direction of light and shadow when applying hatching and cross-hatching. Practice consistent line spacing and weight. 2. Washes. Graded wash, flat wash, wet on wet. Description. Creating areas of tone by diluting ink with water. Materials. Brushes, round, flat, palette, water container. Technique. Graded wash. Start with a concentrated ink mixture and gradually add water to create a smooth transition from dark to light. Flat wash. Apply an even layer of diluted ink to create a consistent tone. Wet on wet. Apply ink to a damp surface, allowing the ink to spread and blend organically. Best practices. Use a high-quality watercolor paper that can withstand multiple washes. Pre-wet the paper for more even washes. Work quickly to avoid hard edges. Tilt the paper to control the flow of the wash. 3. Stippling. Description. Creating tone by applying dots. Materials. Dip pens, technical pens. Technique. Apply dots of varying density to create light and shadow. Closer dots create darker values. Best practices. Be patient. Stippling is a time-consuming technique. Vary the size and spacing of the dots to create texture. Use a consistent dot size for a more uniform effect. 4. Dry brush. Description. Creating texture by dragging a brush with very little ink across the surface of the paper. Materials. Stiff, bristled brushes, textured paper. Technique. Load the brush with a small amount of ink, then blot most of it off. Drag the brush across the paper, allowing the bristles to skip and create a broken, textured effect. Best practices. Experiment with different brush types and paper textures. Use a light touch to avoid scratching the paper. 5. Ink splattering. Description. Creating random patterns by splattering ink onto the paper. Materials. Brushes, toothbrushes, or other tools for splattering. Technique. Load a brush with ink and flick it towards the paper, or use a toothbrush to spray ink by running your finger over the bristles. Best practices. Protect surrounding areas with paper or a drop cloth. Experiment with different inks and splattering techniques. Use masking to protect areas you don't want to be splattered. 6. Ink bleeding, feathering, intentional. Description. Using the natural bleeding properties of some inks to create soft edges and atmospheric effects. Materials. Non-permanent inks, absorbent paper. Technique. Apply ink to the paper and allow it to spread naturally. You can also use a damp brush to encourage the ink to bleed. Best practices. Experiment with different types of paper and inks to see how they react. Control the amount of water to control the bleeding. Use this technique sparingly to avoid a muddy appearance. 7. Lifting ink. Description. Removing ink from the paper to create highlights or correct mistakes. Materials. Clean, damp brush. Paper towels, cotton swabs. Technique. Gently dampen an area of ink with a clean brush and blot it with a paper towel or cotton swab. Repeat as needed to lift the ink. Best practices. Lifting ink is easier with non-permanent inks before they are fully dry. Use a gentle touch to avoid damaging the paper. Work in small areas at a time. 8. Alcohol ink techniques. Description. Manipulating vibrant, transparent inks on non-porous surfaces. Materials. Alcohol inks, Yupo paper, blending solution, isopropyl alcohol, felt applicators, air blower, straw. Technique: drop and blend. Apply drops of ink to the surface and use blending solution or alcohol to manipulate and blend them. Air blower technique: use an air blower or straw to direct the flow of ink and create interesting patterns. Layering: apply multiple layers of ink, allowing each layer to dry before adding the next. Best practices: work in a well-ventilated space. Use gloves to protect your hands. Experiment with different techniques and colors. 9. Mixed media ink. Description: combining ink with other media such as watercolor, colored pencils, charcoal, or digital elements. Materials: ink, desired mixed media, appropriate surface for each medium. Technique: integrating media according to specific artistic goals, such as layering watercolor washes beneath ink line work or enhancing ink drawings with digital textures. Best practices: test compatibility between all media, plan composition and layer sequence accordingly. Use archival quality materials to ensure longevity of artwork. IV. Best practices for ink art. Practice regularly. The key to mastering ink techniques is consistent practice. Dedicate time each day or week to experiment and refine your skills. Experiment with materials. Explore different types of ink, paper, and tools to find what works best for your style. Cleanliness. Keep your work area clean and organized to avoid accidental spills and smudges. Clean your brushes and pens regularly to prevent clogging. Light-fastness. Always use light-fast pigments if you want your artwork to last. Protect your work. Store finished artwork in acid-free sleeves or frames to protect it from damage. Consider using a fixative spray to protect non-permanent inks. Develop your style. Draw inspiration from other artists, but don't be afraid to experiment and develop your unique voice. Be patient. Ink drawing can be challenging, but with patience and persistence, you can achieve stunning results. Embrace mistakes. Mistakes are part of the learning process. Don't be afraid to experiment and make mistakes. Learn from them and keep creating. Ventilation. When working with alcohol inks or some other inks, work in a well-ventilated area. Conclusion. Ink is a rewarding medium that offers endless possibilities for artistic expression. By understanding the properties of ink, mastering the core techniques, and following these best practices, you can unlock your creative potential and create stunning ink artwork. This guide is just the beginning of your journey. So, gather your materials, embrace the process, and enjoy exploring the world of ink. Good luck and happy inking!